Ladies and gentlemen, earlier this week we witnessed the death of the late great Big Van Vader. Yes, this was absolutely one of the toughest guys in the wrestling company. It's insane that we got the news that he had only a certain amount of time to live, and at this point, people were just kind of thinking when was this gonna happen, and sure enough, it happened on Wednesday, I want to say. And this is definitely going to be one of the saddest deaths for me, considering that I was a massive Vader fan. This guy was definitely tough. He was a big guy who knew how to wrestle. He could have gone somewhere bigger in the WWE, but WCW was definitely his home, as it shows. And I'm pretty disappointed in the fact that he will never get to hear his Hall of Fame speech. Like, this is why, how the fuck did we get Jeff Jarrett, but we didn't get Vader? Or how the hell did we get all these crappy celebrities and not get Vader? So it just sucks because clearly Vader is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, whether WWE likes to admit it or not. And honestly, at this point, like, I just hate that we'll never get to hear his speech again. Like, we'll never get to hear some of these speeches again. But Vader is definitely gonna be one to be missed. Again, one of my favorite feuds that he's ever had was with, of course, with Sting. His matches and with Sting in '82 are definitely classic. It's definitely the way wrestling should be put together. I'm not a hater on like the whole multiple moves at once, but after a while it gets tiresome. When you tell the right story, you could definitely make people look good and look because this is Vader was a guy who would lose and still look strong, and that's rarely something that will hardly be done. Like, the other guy I see doing that currently is Tomohiro Ishii. But again, Vader is definitely gonna be one guy to be missed. I just had to pause for a while just so I could think this through, because this Vader death scene is just really tragic for me. But overall, I'm just gonna basically do a quick recap of this entire week, and hopefully I'm getting a better mood as I get on with it. The reason why I'm doing a recap video is because I've been gone to school basically all day. So basically, here's my schedule. I wake up in the morning. I have to get to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. From 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm in school. And then I have a 3-hour gap between getting home and getting back to school. Because I have a night class every single day. Every day I have a math class, so that sucks. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because, honestly, if you guys are in college, you guys are going to learn that the more stuff you do, the sooner you get out of there. And I think I'm happy with what I'm doing, but damn, it is really stressful. Plus, my days off of school, that's when I actually have to go to work, which isn't as stressful. It's just, as working at a coffee house is great and all. I just kind of wish we had more customers. It's a more smaller place. It's barely even gonna grand open on August, so we're still working on it, but pretty sure down the road it's gonna get a lot better for me. But anyways, these are the things I'm gonna be talking about, basically just to catch up on everything. I'm gonna do a quick recap of the World Cup final, or not the World Cup final, but so far where we at as far as the World Cup goes, because I'm a massive freaking soccer fan, so I'm glad that we're getting the World Cup right now. And hold on, and then I'm gonna talk about some movies that I watched, which is only 2 of them, as well as some superhero movie news, some trailer reviews that I saw online, and I'll wrap it up with wrestling at the very end. Just because some people rather watch wrestling, so they could just skip this entire thing, because I'm gonna have little timelines on the bottom so you guys don't have to sit through certain things. So if you guys want to strictly just watch this for wrestling, I totally understand. It's gonna be on the link down below. But basically the time that it tells you, and I'll like just let you know how. Well, basically you just see what I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about some news like Big Cass's release, review Takeover, Money in the Bank, and Lucha Underground, and I'll be pretty much done with that. But anyways, let's just start with the World Cup. Right. Okay. So far the World Cup has started recently. And I've been pretty happy with what we've gotten this far. Um, let's see what we've gotten. We've had Denmark versus Austria, which ended in a tie yesterday. And which was a good game, I gotta say. Uh, fuck, I'm not good at pronouncing this, but Croatia beat Argentina 3-0, which is insane. Nigeria beat Iceland 2-0. France beat Peru. That was definitely a really good game. And then Brazil beat Costa Rica, which was a good game. And just recently, Switzerland beat Serbia 2-1. It was a damn good game, but it was kind of slow at the beginning. One of the players, particularly the one that I put on the freaking on my screen on my you'll see, but Ronaldo, number 7, dude, this guy kept getting freaking injured like every 10 seconds. He'll like exaggerate. He kept getting people flagged, and I was like, god damn it. But I don't know, it's just soccer. It's just the way it's gonna go down, and it's just a ton of fun to watch, of course, with friends. So tomorrow we're getting Belgium versus Tunisia, Germany and Sweden, South Korea and Mexico. That's gonna be a really good game because I'm a fan of both teams. And then on Sunday, of course, we'll be getting England and Panama. I'm glad the Saudi Arabia got their ass kicked. They clearly fucking deserve it with their shitty fucking rules, but that's besides the point. So far, I'm enjoying the game, and it's just been a ton of fun just not thinking about it and just watching it. Every time I have a break, I get a chance to watch these games. It's definitely a highlight for my days. Okay, now I'm gonna be talking about some movies that I'm gonna be talking about. I only saw 2 of them. One of them I thought I was never gonna see, and then the other one I've been waiting my entire life. But the first one I'm gonna review is Ocean's 8, just because I didn't really dug it as much. I didn't hate it. It's definitely a step up from Ghostbusters, but again, I keep saying I'm more impressed when a woman or female led movies could be original. Like I love this pre SJW moment. Like I'm tired of this whole we look at all these women, because at the end of the day, all this did is felt like one big blockbuster movie. Like they just picked like random chicks who are enjoyable. Like I like Kate Blanchett, I like Anne Hathaway. Sandra Bullock is always a mixed bag for me. Rihanna, not a great actress, but she actually improved. Thankfully, she didn't have to say any dialogue in this movie. Dude, Mindy Kaling, who the fuck keeps hiring her for these fucking roles? Like, Mindy Kaling is the absolute reason why I hate this whole SJW era, in the sense that she definitely represents everything wrong with women's society, and I really do not like Mindy Kaling. She's a fucking bitch. She's not funny, overrated. She's fucking annoying. I mean, if you saw The Wrinkle in Time, you should know how much I hated that bitch. But yeah, this movie was fine. I like that it wasn't a complete reboot. It was still fun. You can't really go wrong with Ocean's movie. Ocean's 11 is still gonna be the all-time best, both the original and the Clooney remake. Not a big fan of Ocean's 12, of course, but no one is. But yeah, I think it was a fine little movie, but at the end of the day, I want to see women do better things. Like, that's why I like movies like Girls Trip, Bad Moms, freaking Aliens was a female-led movie. Hell, The Incredibles 2, which I'll get to it. soon. But I want to see women have their own movies. Like that's how you get them over. Wonder Woman is a perfect example. We've never seen a Wonder Woman movie before. We didn't have to rely on this whole. Because I watched the movie and I saw that both crowds could watch it, both male and female could watch the movie without being objectified or being treated like shit or being treated wrong. That's why Wonder Woman sticks out the most, and that's why it was the best summer movie last year. This movie is probably going to be in the top 10 just because there's nothing really else to watch this year. I mean, because all the movies that people wanted to watch, we practically already seen them. All we're waiting for at this point is The Meg, which I'll get to talk about, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is in 2 weeks, I want to say. So, yeah, that's going to be great. So yeah, Ocean's 8, not the worst movie, but not the best. It's like a C-level movie. What wasn't a C-level movie was The Incredibles 2. Right away, this movie, I was like, shit. Usually with sequels, they tend to like mess it up. It's not as great, and this movie surpassed that. This movie was just as good as the original. Definitely not as good as the original. That movie is still technically a classic, but this one was really good. There's talks that Brad Bird never wanted to do a second Incredibles movie unless if he had a legit good story, which I can respect. That makes sense. I wouldn't want just to throw a sequel just cause like that's something that actual superhero movies should learn. Actually have like a long term goal if you're ever gonna do sequels. Like okay, like Deadpool, they already said that they wanted a Cable movie, but maybe we didn't get the right story with Cable. Maybe we should have gotten a different story, but I was still fine with Deadpool 2. Maybe a bad example, but I'm trying to think of some. Hell, people say that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 wasn't as great. Um, I'm mixed bag with it. It's definitely not as great as the original, but it could have been better, maybe. I don't know. Definitely just if you scratch a bunch of fat from Guardians 2, it could be really good. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about Incredibles 2. Why I like this movie. Elastigirl had a much more of a bigger role. And of course, Mr. Incredible himself has just been on a roll. He's always been great. It's getting a lot of controversy with these jokes about Elastigirl being really thick. Which I mean, it is true, but I mean, I don't really have a problem with that. I guess since I'm a dude, but I'm just saying like you could kind of blame the animators for animating her that way in a way that she comes off really really hot. But I don't know. They should have thought of that. But yeah, that happened. All the all the old characters that came back were awesome. Like Frozone is back; he has a bigger role. Edna Mode, she's in it for a little bit, but the little scenes that we get from her are pretty funny and entertaining. The kids and the Incredibles are a big part of this, and Mr. Incredible are probably the biggest highlight of the entire movie. Jack, especially, people thought that Jack was gonna be too annoying, very minion like. No, this guy is beyond minions. I'm definitely excited. Jack might even be more than that eventually, but again, Elastigirl, well, she wasn't the best part of the movie, and I wasn't really digging none of the new characters. To an extent, Bob Odenkirk, he had a decent character, but he wasn't that great. The villain, it was pretty predictable, but I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did. A lot of people saying, oh, everybody who said that the villain was predictable makes it a bad movie. Not really. Her motive, shit, spoilers. Yeah, the villain's motivation, is really what what kind of saves it from not being too horrible. They have new heroes come out. I didn't like those at all. They were pretty lame, but and also I wanted to see more about the kids, particularly Violet and Dash. I felt like they had a good story going on, but they never went anywhere with these guys. Particularly Dash, but Dash was kind of the guy that was there. Violet had a cool storyline, which I actually kind of want to see play out on the third one. Like The first one was so much about Mr. Incredible. The second one was so much about Elastigirl. Let's make the third one about the kids. That way we could wrap up this trilogy and make a new generation of superhero Pixar movies. And I think that could be a really cool thing to do. And I hope if we get a third movie, we don't have to wait like 14 years like this one did. But this is definitely one of my favorite movies of the year. And by far going to be the best animated movie we've seen all year. It was a really, really good movie. I highly recommend this one, especially if you really love the first one, or maybe not. Just watch it just because of how good it is. So I just thought that was really cool. So yeah, those are the two movies I saw. Ocean's 8, meh. Incredibles 2, fuck yes. Okay, so next I'm gonna just quickly talk about some superhero news that's been going on. I won't talk about Aquaman because I haven't heard any news from it except that the movie is actually gonna be good, which is what's making me happy about this in general. But I'm not here to talk about Aquaman because we haven't had any big news yet. What I will talk about is Wonder Woman 1984. Yes, Wonder Woman was the biggest success that DC has currently, so they decided to keep her back in 1984. Now I heard that they're gonna softly reboot the whole story. That sorry, they're gonna reboot the whole story of the whole, because Steve Trevor died in the original Wonder Woman. That you know, she was because basically when Steve Trevor dies and she kills Ares, they were gonna basically, she was gonna be the Captain America of the Justice League, in the sense that it's the oldest person there, and comes back in the modern time. And I kind of wanted to see a Wonder Woman from the modern time, but 1984 coming back, it could work, but it might hurt the movie a lot. I'm pretty sure they might explain it in time traveling. Like, it's weird. I kind of want to hate on the idea that they don't move it to the modern time, because it is stupid that they just took off that whole part of the storyline, because it really does hurt the original movie if they take off that big aspect of Wonder Woman's character. And it really does hurt that movie if they go that route. But I'm seeing that Patty Jenkins might have a really good vision for it. It's just that the studio and Patty Jenkins better get their shit together, and they better have a good reason why this is in 1984 and not in the modern times. I also don't want this movie to be relying on nostalgia. Like, one of the things that people always complain about Stranger Things is that it relies on, like, oh, remember this, remember this, remember this, and I don't want that to happen with Wonder Woman. Also, Chris Pine is returning. I don't know if he's returning as Steve Trevor, but I definitely want to see what they do with him. I definitely want to see why they brought him back. Hell, they might pull a War for the Planet of the Apes, in the sense that he was just like a ghost. Koba was a ghost and stuff, just talking to Caesar. So that could be a really cool thing to do. But I don't know what they'll do. But I'm definitely excited for Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman. Her movie was awesome. So I want to see what they do next. And hopefully, like, the whole sequel thing doesn't hurt it. And I am kind of a little bit ticked off that they took off that whole premise of Gal Gadot, like, or Wonder Woman stopped fighting after Steve Trevor dies, because that was a big part of it, and it just really hurts me. But enough about Wonder Woman. Let's talk about something else. Spider-Man. In the news movie Spider-Man: Homecoming 2, which will include Mysterio as Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. My bad, but that automatically hooks me in. There's talks that Spider-Man will be teaming up with a different member from the MCU, not Iron Man. There's talks that it might be Doctor Strange, which I'm totally up for. Their chemistry in Infinity War was awesome and brilliant. That's pretty much the only thing I could see him teaming up with, especially if he's taking on Mysterio. And Michael Keaton's returning as the Vulture. Fuck yes. But what really is getting people talking about is that Spider-Man will be having a new suit for this movie, and they're already kind of spoiled that the movie's gonna contain Spider-Man trying to get away from Tony Stark and all his work and try to be his own Spider-Man, making his own costume, making his own time. So I think that is brilliant. I think that's the smartest thing they could have done. I'm really digging it because one of the biggest problems with Homecoming was that the suit could do everything. There was no point. So it's gonna be nice to step down just a little bit, see what kind of person Peter Parker could be on his own, and then realize how much he needs help throughout the series, and it's gonna really flesh him out even bigger. And I think if they actually go that route and they actually really do a great job with this movie could even surpass Homecoming. Now, this company is still owned by Sony, so what I highly recommend from these guys is that they do not give him advertisement. Dude, Sony is probably the biggest dickwads when it comes to advertisement. When I saw the Homecoming trailers, they kept spoiling the fuck out of those movies. So, I really hope that Sony, the creator of Sony, gets his head off his ass or her head off her ass or whatever. But they better get better at this advertisement shit because it's getting ridiculous. And final news story as far as superhero movies go, Deadpool. There's talks that Deadpool might actually show up in Avengers 4. The reason why I want to talk about this because I know that there's talks that they want to do X-Men coming to the universe, and this might be the biggest step for it. But a lot of people are saying oh, I want to see Deadpool in Avengers. I don't. I really don't. I don't want to see him. Not because I hate Deadpool or anything. It's just that once you know what kind of character Deadpool is, and you know what kind of characters are the Avengers, it's gonna be really, really clunky, and really it might affect the big reasoning behind why we all enjoy these movies. So I want to see I obviously want to see the X-Men and the MCU team up together, but what I definitely want them to wrap up this story, and then we can move on to new things. Hell, they're gonna wrap up majority of their franchises. Guardians 3, this is the last one. Spider-Man Homecoming 2, which is what we're calling it right now. There's talks that might be the last time we see Peter Parker in the MCU. Who knows? And Black Panther 2, so all this stuff that we're slowly getting rid of, and also trying to make the new type of Avengers. It's gonna take a while, of course, but I want the X-Men to feel naturally coming in, not just because. So I'm definitely excited to see where they go with this, but I definitely don't think that this rumor that Deadpool will be in Avengers 4, I'm not buying it. So now we'll be talking about some trailers real quick. Then we'll get into the wrestling. Yay! But Creed 2. They showed the trailer. I loved it. The theme song with Kendrick Lamar, Loyalty or DNA, my bad. Not the big fan of it. I mean, I feel like we got too much Kendrick Lamar fatigue, especially after Black Panther and all the songs he did for that movie. I feel like we gotten too many of those. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, Sylvester Stallone, and Drago are coming back. This is gonna be awesome. We're getting all the characters from the previous movie, and we're gonna finally put them together. And one of the lines that really got me out of this movie was Adonis's mom saying, "Stop pretending like you're fighting for your father," which is gonna be a big part of the movie because now it's showing that Adonis wants to just fight because he wants to prove he's the best instead of fighting for the rights for his father, which is what originally was passed. So it's gonna be really intense, and it's gonna be one of the better movies in the Rocky franchise, and I think they finally got it right. Honestly, Creed is one of my favorite movies of all time, and a big part of it is because of the characters and the development. And hell, I even enjoyed Creed to an extent. I enjoyed it a little bit more than the original Rocky, just because I didn't grow up with Rocky and I grew up with Creed. So this is gonna be the perfect variety set of movies to set up. It could be a trilogy, it could be a series. I don't know what they'll do, but I'm definitely excited for Creed. Then we had a trailer for the Meg. Now, really, people are gonna get out of it is that they showed a bunch of trailer reactions in the beginning, and then they showed Jason Statham fight this big ass shark. This movie might actually be one of the most hyped movies of the summer, considering like how how ridiculous it looks. But I don't know. It looks like a fun movie. It might not be a great movie, but who the fuck knows? I actually want to see this shit. Jason Statham, Big Shark. It kind of reminds me of old school blockbusters like Jaws and Batman 1989. They were ridiculous, but we still love them. So I feel like we're gonna get that kind of vibe, and I hope we get that vibe because I kind of miss those kind of summer blockbusters. Every once in a while we get like a political, uh, variety, diverse summer movie, and sometimes I just want to watch a movie just to have fun. And I think the Meg will bring that to all of us, and I can't wait for it. All right, let's just talk about some wrestling. Are you ready for some wrestling? Yes, finally I get to talk about some professional wrestling. I'm basically gonna review 3 shows and then discuss stuff that happened Raw and SmackDown plus the big news of Big Cass. But yeah, let's just talk about the show and what happened basically. So what we got the first show I'm gonna talk about is NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. Basically in this show, we all thought it was gonna be a weak show, but it actually turned out to be pretty solid. Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly make a better team than Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the Red Dragon, because we've seen Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly team up all the time, and after a while it gets kind of boring. So Roderick Strong, a guy who could fight on his own, and Kyle O'Reilly, 2 guys who could fight on their own. They don't need to be tag team partners, but they are tag team partners because they're part of the Undisputed Era. Take on Oney Lorcan and Danny Butch. We finally this is how you get people over. Basically, you make them win a bunch of matches, have a mini story with them. I guess they're the 1-2 gang because they keep doing this. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm definitely excited for this. This team up. These guys are definitely really over. They're definitely gonna need a lot of work. Maybe some matching outfits will help out. Yeah, I'm really digging it. This is one of my favorite matches of the night. Another match that was just as good: Ricochet and the Velveteen Dream. First of all, Prince Puma tights Velveteen Dream. Bravo, brother. But yeah, Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, they just had the match that you expected. They even had like moments that from Will Ospreay versus Ricochet, like those matches. You know how they do that one moment, Will Ospreay and Ricochet, where they would run to each rope and then they land together, like looking at each other. They kind of imitated that, but Velveteen Dream did it a bit differently. They flipped moves. Basically, this match just showed me how good the Velveteen Dream is, even if he loses, and how over he is. I kind of wanted to see him win. That way we could give Ricochet a bigger story heading forward, because after a while, the way everything's being put together, it gets too predictable. Like the way everybody debuting was beating Andrade Cien Almas or Ty Dillinger. I don't want the Velveteen Dream to be that guy. I want him to be legit and stand on his own, and that's what I kind of want out of him. So, but Velveteen Dream is definitely main roster ready. If I would to pick where he would go, I would easily pick SmackDown, because Road Dogg apparently is writing Raw, and I definitely don't want to see Velveteen Dream get fucking raped by Road Dogg's shitty writing. So definitely put him on SmackDown if that's the case. Shayna Baszler beat Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, Sanity debuted on SmackDown. Why didn't they have Nikki Cross if she wasn't gonna win this title anyways? It's just really stupid, and it kind of hurts this match to say the least. But yeah, this match was whatever. After a while, Shayna Baszler's matches get repetitive. She gets the upper hand for a while, then the women she fights get some punches. They get the better of her, and then eventually Shayna Baszler finds a way to make him tap out. Actually, now that I think about it, Shayna Baszler has hardly made people tap out. They've not been knocked out, but they haven't been like, you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of like something interesting I've been noticing from her. But definitely, I think they're going the right route. If I were to pick Shayna Baszler's next opponent, it would easily be Kairi Sane. She was in the crowd. Also, Keith Lee was in the crowd. So yes, we're getting Keith Lee on NXT. This guy is awesome. Picture the Mac from Lucha Underground, but like moving like a cruiserweight. Picture the Mac meets Luke Harper, kind of that. Keith Lee is awesome, so you guys are gonna love that guy. Aleister Black beat Lars Sullivan for the NXT Championship. It was pretty predictable. It was a really dull ass match, to say the least. I really didn't like it. There was a really bad botch spot, and I don't know. I just didn't dig this match as much as I did. I definitely think both these men are main roster ready. These guys clearly do not need to be in the NXT roster. They could easily move up to the main roster and be ready. Lars Sullivan, if he is going to go to the main roster, they need to change that motherfucker's uniform. Like, him with like a thong, fuck no. That's not going to get him over. Give him some trunks or something, you know. Like, I can't take Lars Sullivan serious. Nobody could take Lars Sullivan serious the way he's dressed. So give him a different outfit, a singlet, something, you know. Something that makes him not look like he does now. But yeah, Aleister Black and Lars Sullivan, they had a alright match. I didn't hate it as much as I did, even though I said this shit was dull. But yeah, I definitely want to see another thing. Ciampa and Gargano had a street fight, and they had a match just as good as their unsanctioned match. Finally, Ciampa won a match. I kind of wish they had blood. These guys need to bleed. I swear to God, this shit is just getting ridiculous. The whole no blood, no selling. It really hurts it. But other than that, the match was still really good. There's a point where Ciampa and Gargano, they break the bottom of the ring. Basically, picture if you were doing a bed and then you take off the thing, the sheet. Basically, picture that. They did the same thing with the ring. There's a bunch of punches. They had crutches to fight each other. That was just awesome. Actually, Candice LeRae backstage gave Johnny Gargano the crutch, like, kick his ass, honey. Like, that was just awesome. They have street clothes. That was an even bigger bonus that I kind of wish they had in the unsanctioned match. But anyways, Ciampa beats Gargano. And I hope this is the last match we get with these two guys for a while. Personally, if anything, I would have Johnny Gargano go on a break for a while. Have Ciampa be his own guy. Maybe win the NXT Championship. And then we do Gargano Ciampa WrestleMania weekend one last time. So we could finally end the feud. Because this is, even though I love the feud, it's always good to spread the matches around. And make each one feel unique. But definitely, I thought this was just a big of a classic as the original was. At New Orleans. But yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about Money in the Bank. Didn't watch the pre-show. Bludgeon Brothers retain. Who cares? Big Cass loses to Daniel Bryan, and you know, I was like, holy shit, they're fucking up Big Cass badly. I mean, what? Did they just give up on him? Wait, what's that? He got released? What? I couldn't believe that. Yes, Big Cass got released. Apparently, he's a bad person to hang out with backstage. He's a Trump supporter. So I definitely understand that. Honestly, Big Cass had potential of being a really real mega star, but they never really put the plug with him. But honestly, I would have sent him to NXT and had better matches on NXT because he clearly needs Enzo Amore. Without Enzo Amore, he's kind of lame. So maybe he'll go to the main roster. I mean, to Impact Wrestling, or he'll go to. Chances are he'll go to Impact Wrestling. But he definitely is a guy who could be something big. Because he is definitely. He looks like a star. He has good promos. He doesn't give a shit. He could definitely be something amazing. But again, WWE has fucking retards writing the shit. So, but anyways, he's released. Daniel Bryan can move on to something else, possibly The Miz at SummerSlam. Hopefully, yes. Bobby Lashley beat Sami Zayn in a shitty squash match. Didn't even watch it. I didn't care. It was fucking. I don't give a fuck. And the fact that we're probably not gonna get Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar really pisses me off, because why else would you even bring Bobby Lashley if you're not gonna do him versus Brock Lesnar? That is probably the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. So you bring Bobby Lashley just so they can make fucking fun of him? Like, how fucking mean and fucked up that is. Like, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Bobby Lashley eventually goes, you know what, WWE, fuck you guys. As soon as Vince McMahon dies, maybe I'll come back. That's what he should have said. Because Vince McMahon, I swear to God, this motherfucker needs to fucking end it. Like, he's holding grudges against people. He's not getting people over. Stephanie McMahon is just a fucking cunt. Like, these fucking McMahons, like, honestly, this is why I stopped watching it, because it's so fucking bad to sit through and be so corporate and not worry about, like, all this other shit that's going on. So, yeah, I definitely want this shit to be done with. Like, this whole McMahon era, like, just give Triple H to fucking... I don't even give a shit if he's only gonna rely on indie dudes at this point. At least he'll write them better promos and shit. So I could care less how bad he holds grudges with guys like Scott Steiner, Dolph Ziggler, and, you know, other guys that Triple H might not like. But I don't give a shit. At least the writing will be good. Seth Rollins beat Elias. This is a really good match. I really enjoyed it. Elias definitely proved that he's one of the best talents right now, and Seth Rollins is really good. I kind of want to see Elias be the champion, but Dolph Ziggler won the IC championship, which kind of hurts this match, because like, why didn't they just have that match? Why didn't they just have Dolph Ziggler win at Money in the Bank and Elias does something else? Maybe enter the Money in the Bank match, replace one of these other fuckers, maybe Bobby Roode, because Bobby Roode is really, really fucking boring. I mean, what other Raw guys they had on the Money in the Bank? Braun Strowman, Bobby Roode. Who else they had in the match? Finn Balor from Raw, and I forgot the name of the other dude. What's his name? Forgot his fucking name. Anyways, the whole point I want to say is that, yeah, they should have just had Elias on the Money in the Bank. Yeah. So with that said, let's just move on. The fuck on. Alexa Bliss wins Money in the Bank. It was an okay match. It was definitely better than last year's women's match, but again, it's kind of like whatever. Alexa Bliss wins, which I think was the right call. That would have been my personal pick. If anything, I probably would have picked Becky Lynch or something, or Sasha Banks, but might as well keep it on Alexa Bliss. She's probably the most over women right now, besides Ronda Rousey, which we'll get to. Roman Reigns beat Jinder Mahal. I actually didn't even watch this match. I kind of predicted it was a bad match, and sure enough, it was. Roman Reigns beats Mahal. LOL, what the fuck is next? Carmella beat Asuka because James Ellsworth came back and cost him the match. At least we could say that Asuka didn't lose clean to Carmella, because if she lost clean to Carmella, maybe people would have freaked out. But, you know, James Ellsworth, it's good to see him back. He's probably one of the funnier dudes in the roster right now, so I definitely am digging this. Carmella, James Ellsworth coming back. I kind of hope this leads to James Ellsworth screwing over Carmella. That would have been pretty fucking awesome. I kind of want to see if they do that. That would be amazing. AJ Styles beat Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship in the Last Man Standing match. I am thinking this is going to be their best match they've had. This is definitely a good match. These guys beat the hell out of each other. I kind of wish they had a different match. Because it didn't make sense to make a last man standing if both men were going to, maybe both get counted out. But thankfully that didn't happen. Thankfully we're moving on to something else. Apparently Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura are going to be feuding, which I'm kind of disappointed, because I kind of am really sick and tired of people going from the WWE Championship to the mid-card division. I was like, no, that's not how it fucking works. Like it's just really, really stupid. Like, when that shit happens, like, how the fuck did Roman Reigns go from retiring The Undertaker, beating John Cena, main eventing against Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe at SummerSlam, to winning the Intercontinental Championship. That's just fucking ridiculous. Like, no, you don't fucking step down. You're supposed to step up. What the fuck are they doing? But anyways, Jeff Hardy, Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm definitely gonna be excited for that match. Apparently we're gonna do AJ Styles versus Rusev. I kind of wanted to see AJ Styles versus The Miz. Miz wins, and then we do Miz Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and then AJ Styles could move on. Maybe finally, I don't know what they could have done with AJ Styles. Maybe fight Samoa Joe. Maybe even fight for the US belt. Who the fuck knows? Like, honestly, it's really complicated with how to write this. This is one of those things that I suck at when it comes to creative. Maybe I'll write shit that's worse than what they're actually doing. So, anyways, but yeah, I definitely wanted to. I'm tired of people like stepping down. Like, at least when John Cena went from WWE champion to US champion, at least he was already the John Cena we all know and love, or hate, depending on who you are. But anyways, there's that. Ronda Rousey beat Nia Jax. The match was lame. Alexa Bliss came in and cashed in. That's the only thing that mattered. Rousey got suspended. I pretty much hope this is a storyline, because if they're just booking her like a part-timer, then really you guys are really fucking retarded if that's the case. Because I don't know, these fucking writers, they need to like, I swear, someone needs to like just go up there with a bat and just fucking knock these fucking guys' heads off. Because these guys clearly don't use their fucking brain right, so might as well just get rid of them. Like, fuck, I really don't give a shit. And again, I could easily just stop watching, which I will. But, once again, it's all about, sometimes it's really hard to be a YouTuber when you're just like sitting through all these like little problems, but it just, whatever. Braun Strowman won the Money in the Bank ladder match. I thought this was stupid. The match itself was great. It was really good. Probably the big spot was Kevin Owens falling through this big ass ladder through a table. That was fucking insane. But aside from that, I thought that Braun Strowman does not need the Money in the Bank. It's ridiculous. What is he gonna do? Cash in on what's his face, Brock Lesnar, without him noticing? Like, it just looks ridiculous. And honestly, they should have done a SmackDown guy and a Raw guy. Alexa Bliss won the Raw one representing Raw, so they should have had a SmackDown dude. I wanted Kofi Kingston to win, because that could have made WWE more interesting with what they could do with the New Day, but no, they missed so many opportunities. They're just gonna stick to guys that are already established. Well, Braun Strowman is established, but they're fucking him over real bad because, again, creative sucks. But yeah, I'm whatever with this. I hope we lose that Universal Championship off of Brock Lesnar soon, because I'm sick and tired of not having a champion around. And again, sick and tired of these creatives. So, anyways, this show, I was going to give it a pass, but honestly, after talking about it, it just really pissed me off, because not only was the show way too long, but some of the booking decisions were just really stupid. And I don't know, I just really didn't like this, and it just kind of sucked. So anyways, I was going to give this a 7 out of 10, but I'm bumping it down to a 6. It's still like a C show. There's still a couple of matches to see. I would watch Styles and Nakamura, of course, and maybe the men's ladder match. That's about it. Everything else, who gives a shit? The women's ladder match was alright, but it wasn't that great for me. But so yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah, that'll be it. Finally, the last thing I'll be talking about is Lucha Underground from last Wednesday. I didn't watch NXT because usually the night after or the week after the TakeOver, it's just recaps of everything they did, so I could skip easily. But anyways, Lucha Underground, pretty solid show. It was definitely really good. Some entertainment. It's definitely keeping the pace going. I'm still not digging Antonio Cueto. Dario Cueto dressed as his dad, basically. But at least they're owning the fact that, he's like, yeah, one of the good ideas my son had was the gift of the gods, so that's why I'm bringing that back. So Dragon Azteca and Drago had a match for the the first um, medallion for the Gift of the Gods Championship. Dragon Azteca won. Solid little match. It was fine. The trios tag team championships were on the line. It was Son of Havoc, the new champion, with a kill shot in the back. Dante Fox is gone. From what I've heard, I hope he does come back, but I wouldn't blame him because some of the contracts in Lucha Underground are a little bit tad bit complicated. So it was fine. Famous B came in. He brought some new clients. I forgot who the first two were, but the most important ones that we have, Jake Savage, aka Jack Swagger. Yes, Jack Swagger comes out. So anyway, Son of Havoc gets the pinfall for the team. Famous B gets in an argument with Jack Savage. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call him Jack Swagger. It's really hard to call him that. Jack Swagger and Famous B, they brawl for a little bit. Then Jack Swagger puts the ankle lock on him. So now it's gonna be Famous B versus Jack Swagger, which chances are is gonna lead to Tejano and Jack Swagger, which looks like an interesting match. The Mexican bullfighter versus the real American. That's actually pretty interesting. Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Jack Swagger doesn't sound that exciting to me, but whatever. So yeah, Jack Swagger, I'm glad to see him. Katrina kept talking about trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet, which not the Infinity Gauntlet. I keep thinking of that, but the Gauntlet of the Gods, which King Cuerno stole the previous season. He says, I don't have it. I send it to a guy who, I don't know what time did he send it, which means he sent it to the time traveler Aerostar. And something I realized, if they have all of these guys coming out like Drago, Tejano, and all these guys, why didn't they have those guys on Aztec Warfare last week instead? But I don't know. It's whatever. I don't really fucking care at this point. Then the big match, Matanza Cueto versus Pentagon Dog. This is definitely their better match. Not awesome, but not awful. I thought this was a really good match. Pretty solid. Pentagon Dark got away with the pinfall. Then he was gonna break Matanza's hand, but then Antonio showed the key to Matanza, so that's when he escaped. So I think this is gonna play off a whole story of Pentagon Dark trying to break Matanza's hand, and I think that's gonna be pretty good, solid TV. I'm really thinking that, again, the writing in Lucha Underground is so much better than WWE's by a mile. Like, even stuff I couldn't write, they could surpass it. So that's how great it is. And next week, so apparently Katrina asked for a match for against Phoenix. Mil Muertes versus Phoenix, Grave Consequences. That way Katrina could live forever and she won't have to be dead anymore. And I was like, well, we already saw Mil Muertes and Phoenix in a Grave Consequence match, which was probably the reason why I even watched Lucha Underground. That match was definitely one of the best matches I've ever seen in the past decade. We were going to get that match. And then Jeremiah Crane comes like, hey, listen, add a triple threat match. Let's make it a triple threat match. Phoenix, Mil Muertes, and Jeremiah Crane, because Jeremiah Crane wants the love for Katrina, of course. And what made it so funny was that Antonio's like, you would risk your life for a girl? And then he's like, have you seen her? Alright, fair enough. So that was awesome. I can't wait for that match. It looks pretty intense. Jeremiah Crane is basically what I want Dean Ambrose to be. Mil Muertes is the modern Undertaker, and Phoenix is just like the ultimate babyface, so that's just going to be a kick-ass match. One of the best matches of the year, probably. So I can't wait to see it. Anyways, that'll be all. It's Mimi, the ALE XX Prince. Chances are I'm going to do another video like this next week because my schedule is so convoluted. But I hope you guys enjoy this. It's Mimi, ALE XX Prince. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.